Good day everyone. Before we hop into today's vlog, I just want to remind you to please hit that subscribe button. From now on, I'm going to be putting out daily online poker vlogs. We're going to be tracking my process as I play these 6 max online poker cash games. So far, we've moved up from 1-2 to 2-5, and we're going to keep tracking the process, hopefully as I move up further. But even if I don't, you'll get to see me fall flat on my face 6 out of 7 days of the week. Make sure you hit subscribe so you get the vlogs as they come out. But for now, onto the vlog. G'day everyone, welcome back to the vlog. It's currently 8 AM here in Melbourne, and as you can tell by that time, I did have a bit of a sleep in this morning, so I've already lost about 2.5 to 3 hours of productivity already, which of course I'm kicking myself over a bit. Gonna definitely be working well into the evening tonight, but still gonna try and get this 1,500 hand goal. And on the plus side, I will say I feel better rested than I have since a long time, being that I didn't get so much sleep last night. So hopefully I'll be more alert and more able to play my A game when I do go and play poker for today. But for now, even though I'm feeling alert, I'm still feeling hungry. So I'm gonna get a feed in, then we'll get to the poker. Let's go. It's about 10 to 9 at the moment here in Melbourne. I really don't have that much time to waste, so I'm going to hop back into the poker as soon as possible. The only thing I'm going to say is that I am not allowed to 6 table today. It never goes well, and even though I am going to be working really late in the evening, only playing 5 tables, it's going to be worth it to make sure I do play better poker. And the other thing I'm going to do to make sure I play better poker is just continue using that self-talk. Don't be too nitty with these folds. It is still good to look for good spots to make exploitive folds, but I'm just taking it too far at the moment, and I really do want to defend some of my ranges in a lot of spots against these aggressive 2-5 players. So with all of that in mind, I'm going to get in the poker and try and get this 1,500 hands out. Let's go. G'day everyone, it's currently about 20 past 5 in the afternoon here in Melbourne, and I've finally wrapped up my second poker session for the day. Ended up getting in a total of 6 hours and 4 minutes for a grand total of 1,538 hands. So just barely we do beat the 1,500 hand goal, even though it did almost take me all day. In terms of results from this session, I ended up losing 2,199, which is by far the biggest loss I've booked since starting the vlog. We knew this was going to happen when I did move up to the 2-5 level. Obviously, though, it doesn't feel great. As far as my gameplay grade goes from today's sessions, I'm going to go with the C+. I do like a few of the things about my gameplay today. I really do like that I did stick to 5 tables and I didn't get tempted to mix in a 6th, even though I was rushed for time. Additionally, I actually like some of the plays I made. I thought I made a few disciplined folds, some good bluffs when I was looking out for spots to do so. Unfortunately, I can't give myself too high of a grade because I really do feel like I was on tilt for a large portion of this session. I'm not even quite sure what caused the tilt, but I think it might be a mixture of these two things. One, that I did sleep in and I was feeling rushed and stressed for time constraint reasons. And B, initially I did start to run really bad in high EV spots and did put me on tilt a bit. I sort of noticed myself being in a more aggressive mindset in terms of just making inefficient C-bets, double barrel bluffing a bit too often just because I was in that win every pot mentality, which has been a problem for me before when I have gone on tilt. So definitely don't think I spewed off a whole stack or anything crazy like that. I actually think the reason the loss was so big today was largely from just running bad in those high EV spots. I got ace king all in pre-flop against aces twice, and then I got kings all again against ace king and lost. Stuff like that did happen a few times to me today, so really the large result is a result of that, but definitely did make some mistakes as well and compounded the fact that I was running bad with a few silly mistakes in between those big hands. So I can't go too high with the grade, so C+ feels pretty fair. So obviously not quite the results we were looking for from today's session. Having said that though, like I said, I did run bad in some high EV spots. This next hand is no exception. However, I do think the decision points that occur throughout the hand are very interesting, and I definitely could have seen a scenario where I played the hand different and didn't give up as much in the hand. So the action's on me under the gun with ace king offsuit. I go ahead and raise it up to 10. Then the action gets to a tight aggressive big blind who goes ahead and 3-bets it to 45. The action's back on me, and I think I have a few interesting choices here, none of which are folding. Obviously not going to be folding a hand as strong as ace king here. The first thought that pops into my head is I should probably be 4-betting here. The chances that I'm ahead with ace king are very, very likely, so I can go ahead and 4-bet for value or to try and deny equity to some cards that might be live. I don't decide to do that though. I decide to call here, and I do this for two reasons. One, my opponent is tight aggressive, so not really looking to get over 100 big blinds all in pre-flop against a very tight 3-betting range, and it's a under the gun versus big blind dynamic, which is already a very tight 3-betting dynamic anyway. So it all just leads me to believe my opponent does have a very strong hand, and to compete against that, I do like defending my 3-bet calling range with some of the stronger hands in my range, such as ace king. So that's what I decide to do. Then we go heads up to a flop of ace queen for rainbow. Pretty good flop for us, and the big blind bets at it. They go ahead and make it 30. And the action's on me here, and I think I have a pretty easy decision to call here with ace king. So I throw in the call, and then we go heads up to a turnstile, which is the 6 of hearts, putting out backdoor hearts. My opponent keeps betting at it. They go ahead and make it 120. And I think this is an interesting turning point in the hand, because on the flop I said if my opponent had a worse ace, they would definitely bet that for value. On the flop, I think things change on the turn. If my opponent did have a hand like ace jack or ace 5 suited, they might bet the turn. I just don't think they're going to go ahead and bet 120, almost the size of the pot. They've got to be concerned that I have ace queen, I have pocket queens, I have a stronger ace if they're betting an ace for value. So I really don't think that they'd be as bold as to bet something that large. I think when they do use this sizing, they're more polarized to either a hand that is ace king or stronger, so ace king, ace queen, pocket queens, or additionally, they could be bluffing. They could be turning a hand like pocket kings into a bluff. King jack suited, king 10 suited are both gut shots, so they're also somewhat possible. There's backdoor hearts as well. So I think my opponent is more polarized when they bet this side. But the fact that ace king is still in their range and we chop with that hand, I think this makes it a no-brainer decision for us to call this bet. That's what I do. I throw in the call. So it heads up to the river still, which is the jack of diamonds. And here's where things get really, really interesting. My opponent decides to rip it all in for about a pot-sized bet. Then the action's on me with ace king, and on the turn, I said I thought my opponent could potentially be betting ace king for value. I don't think my opponent is going all in on the river here with ace king. They've got to be concerned that I have ace queen, slow played set, or even ace jack actually got there on the river and now beats ace king. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I would just be very surprised if this player is ripping it all in with ace king for value. So I really take that hand out of the range. When they bet this big, I think they are even more polarized. I think they have ace queen, pocket queens, or a bluff. Like I said on the turn, they could potentially have pocket kings as a bluff, king jack as a bluff, or actually king 10 as a bluff, but king 10 actually got there and king 10's the nuts now, so they could potentially have that as well. So that's another hand I lose to. So I really do think I should put serious thought into folding ace king here, but, and I've said this in the two previous vlogs, these 2-5 player pools are much more aggressive, and I really do have to look at what my whole range is and then try and defend with parts of it. So let's do that now. What hands do I have on the river that are going to be very easy calls? Well, ace queen for sure, pocket queens for sure. If I didn't 4-bet ace king, probably not 4-betting queens either, so I probably would trap with queens, just because I want my opponent to keep betting off with the ace king combos in their range. So, and I could also potentially have like ace 4 suited or pocket 4s. So I do have a bunch of hands stronger in my range than ace king. And then additionally, one of the reasons I really don't like calling with ace king is all of my opponent's bluffs really have to have a king, like pocket kings or king jack suited. So I actually think that makes pocket kings a worse hand to call with. So even though in the previous vlogs I railed against your opponent bet big, you know, you have to defend with some of your range in the more aggressive 2-5 games, I really don't think this is the spot for it. We don't have a good blocker and we do have stronger hands in our range, so I think we should look to call down with those and probably just mark the ace king though. I was in the wrong mental space on this one, I think though, and I got a bit undisciplined because of the tilt I was feeling. So I did actually decide to throw in the call, only for my opponent to show me ace queen suited. So obviously they're going to take in that pot. And I really do think, like I actually said earlier in the vlog, even though I do have to defend certain part of my range as well, it doesn't mean I just have to blindly call. I really should be looking for good spots to fold, big hands as well. I think this would have been a good one of them. So hopefully that's something I can keep in mind going forward as we play these 2-5 games. Let me know what you think though. Hop in the comments below. Let me know what you would do on the river. Obviously, it is a pretty close decision anyway, and a lot of you might disagree with me and think that Ace-King would shove on the river there, which would definitely make this decision a lot closer in my opinion. So drop in the comments. Let me know what would you. Do you call on the river or do you make the hero fold on the river? Hop in the comments below and let me know. That's it. We've wrapped up another vlog for today. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. That really helps out the channel. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. That also helps the channel grow. A bunch of new people have come on recently, so thank you to all of you. If you haven't already, join the family and hit that subscribe button. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.